WWE has faced rapid decline from its product last year, and there are many, many, many different reasons that I believe that is the issue, and other people think is the issue. I mean, you compare it to last year. If you just compare WrestleManias, like the ending of WrestleMania 40 was beautiful, cinematic, it was deserved, it's what we wanted. End of WrestleMania 41, it was dull, it was anticlimactic, it was weird. It was bad booking. So let's get into why I think WWE has declined this past year. The first problem I want to talk about is over pushing wrestlers. Big example of this is Jey Uso. Did Jey Uso deserve to win the 2025 Royal Rumble? No. Did he deserve to beat Gunther? I don't think so. Did he deserve to win the World Championship again? No. Did he deserve to face CM Punk again for the World Heavyweight Championship? No. Dumb decisions. That's what I think they were. And now I'm a big fan of Jey Uso. I think he's funny. I think he's on the mic, but he's not main event level. He's not main event Jey Uso level. He's not in ring level. He can cut promos well, but he's US, he's IC champion level. He should not be the World Heavyweight Championship scenes. That's my belief on it. And like the fans have made this clear. Like the most disliked videos of the year is when he won the Royal Rumble, when he bet Gunther, and when he won the Battle Royal. That's the most viewed, most disliked videos of the year. So I don't get what part of the way I'm getting. Especially when you look at other talent like LA Knight and Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre should be WWE champion. Cody Rhodes' second reign is so boring. I forget he has it half the time. Drew deserves a proper title reign in front of actual fans because he carried the company. He carried Raw in 2020 and in 2021. It's the least he deserves. And LA Knight, the best come for who wait or something like that, whatever Triple H said in 2023, that's over 2 years ago now. When's it going to happen? I'm all for long-term story booking, but that's not long-term story booking. If it's 2 years, it's like 6 months or a year. Like, come on, pull the trigger. People are saying what their treatment to him is a work so far. I don't think it is. I think they're actually fucking pissed at them, and I would honestly applaud McIntyre and LA Knight off if they quit and just said, all right, fuck, we're going to the Indies, because they deserve better. They're two of my favorites. I love them, and I'd be really sad if they went. But honestly, they deserve it. They deserve so much better. Like LA Knight's getting snubbed from the War Games match. Like it's ridiculous. The next reason I think WWE is not as good as anymore is just the storylines alone. I mean, compared to last year, once again, we had the Drew McIntyre CM Punk feud, which was, I think, feud of the decade. It was beautiful, it was fantastic. The matches, the promos. You had Cody finishing his story. It was great, great long term storytelling. Now, this year, it's just nothing. Nothing. They value the moment more than what happens next. And moments in wrestling are great. It's what gets looked upon. We all remember Stone Cold shaking Vince's hand, but we don't really remember or want to remember the bad stuff that came after it. I mean, like take it this year, right? Rusev came back Raw after Mania. Aleister Black came back to SmackDown after Mania. Only thing the either two of them have done is Rusev has had a really, really good feud with Sheamus. And in fairness, he won the feud at a pay-per-view match and all. But Aleister Black, like he's done stuff with Carmelo Hayes and The Miz. Like Aleister Black is one of the best wrestlers and one of the best like looking wrestlers. Like he does look fucking scary. So there's no excuse there. AJ Lee comes back. For what? Was that thing just a one off? I would so much prefer AJ Lee over Nikki Bella full time. Nikki Bella is the legend of all. However, is not the best in the ring. Really, really bad at promos. Speaking of female wrestlers who can't cut a promo to save their lives, Tiffany Stratton. Oh my god, I discovered it 2 weeks ago. She cannot cut a promo to save her life. Look at the one against Jay Cargill. I'm all for Tiffy time. I really like her in the ring. She's really, really good and she deserves to be champion, but she needs to fix her promo skills, absolutely. But we're getting off topic here. Like Zack Ryder returned on the latest SmackDown, what time I'm recording this. I fear for him. Like he lost to LA Knight, which is probably the right decision. But what's gonna happen now? Is he's gonna have a few episodes SmackDown, might win some, might lose some to like lower mid carders. He'll appear for like 6 minutes in the Rumble, toss a jobber out, and then get tossed out himself. They need to have a plan, and I think that's been lost in WWE. To follow up there on the booking situation, yeah, the booking's really bad. It's really bad. I don't think Triple H has the power that he had when he took over. Like, you cannot look at 2022, 2023, and 2024 and look at all the good booking and look at now and think it's the same person. It's TKO. Like, I think they are the main reason why WWE is on a decline. Um, they've made absolute baffling decisions. They care more about the moment rather than the follow up. And that's the thing with returns. Like the Cena heel turn, brilliant. Well, that will go down in history, no matter what. Shocking. John Cena, the man we all wanted for like 15 years to turn heel, and he did it. How they follow up? John Cena just going around to European cities and acting like a grump. Just saying, "Oh, you people hated me." Da da da. Boring. Like you could tell, like he acted well, but you could tell it was put on. Like it wasn't genuine. And it also didn't work because these cities, who never get a Raw SmackDown, like in countries like Belgium and Ireland, you know, they'll never see John Cena again. So why boo him? You know, for many of those people, he's the reason they got into wrestling. One of their favorites of all time, like the greatest of all time. Why boo him? He's not. You're never gonna see him like live again. So that I think doing it as final year was a bad call. And it really, really hurt his retirement run. Like I struggle to think now. Like I think this final match, depending on his opponent, will absolutely sway his final match into a positive light. But right now, I'm still 50-50 because half of it was the heel turn. The Rock influencing all and then pissing off. Travis Scott interfering in the main event of WrestleMania and then pissing off. They hung him out high to dry, and it's really, really sad. So just poor storytelling. Another one with moments that obviously AJ Lee, zero follow up because why not? Like, why would there be? You know, like, like other just failed TKO things. Like the main event of Night One of Mania was cool. I watched it live, lost my shit when Seth Rollins, and Paul Heyman, Paul turned on both Roman and Punk. But the faction, they just did not have the chemistry. Seth did not feel like a Paul Heyman guy. Brock and Punk had the personalities, the chemistry to be with Paul. But Seth didn't. Seth is the full package. If this was 2014 Seth, completely different. But it isn't anymore. This is 11 years on from him being a full-time single star. So multiple world championship. He doesn't need a Paul Heyman. I mean, a faction, yeah, like henchmen. Like we've seen them many times have henchmen, and it work well. The henchmen are a new tag team that people don't really know of, or like main roster fans won't know of, like big tag teams from NXT. But these are two up and coming stars of WWE in Bronson Reed and especially Braun Breaker. So it just didn't really work, and obviously they wrote him off due to injury. So that faction's over now. I was just watched that and thinking, what's the point? What is the point? That was a big waste of time, big load of waffle, waste. So the booking needs to change because it's getting boring. And speaking of boring, oh my god, the weekly shows, Raw every single week. It's either the Vision or it used to be the Bloodline. They'd come out, they'd attack like Cody Rhodes, and then here comes Jey Uso and CM Punk to save the day, and then they do a big stare off, rinse, repeat. Like Raw, by the time I'm recording this, is two nights away. I'll guarantee it'll be the same thing that happens. Everything I just mentioned will happen. It's boring. It's repetitive. I used to actually watch the highlights the next morning, but now I just skim through and read the top. I was like, oh, okay, yep, that's grand. Just the baby faces are just really, really boring. The main three really are Sami Zayn, Cody Rhodes, and Randy Orton. As and Jey Uso, yeah, Jey Uso. I was tempted to put CM Punk in that mix, but I think CM Punk is CM Punk. He has the charisma, whether heel or babyface, to make it not boring. But I do think he needs to turn heel as well. But the four I mentioned, just need to change because they are the same. Sami Zayn cannot be an underdog if he beats everyone. Cody Rhodes is painted as the hero of this scenario, when in most cases he's the villain, like with Kevin Owens. Randy Orton, he needs to turn heel. I like babyface Orton, but it's been 3 years, and I'd like to see another heel run because who knows how long we have Orton till. And Jey Uso, one trick pony. This from a guy who likes Jay. He's just a one trick pony, and sometimes that can be okay, but it's professional wrestling, so it's not really okay. With Cody Rhodes, I forget he's world champion. Like I've said a moment ago, I sometimes think, who's the WWE champion again? He had a really great match at SummerSlam, but he hasn't really done anything since. Drew McIntyre should be WWE champion right now because he'd make it interesting. They need to freshen it up a bit. Um, so but will they turn him heel? Randy, I think it's only a matter of time. Cody, not for another while, unfortunately. If it's WrestleMania 43 and he's still not heel, I wouldn't be surprised. Jay, no, gets him too much money. And who was the other guy I mentioned? Um, Sami Zayn. I know because there wouldn't really be a key reason to. Kevin isn't around, so it's just a shame because they cut the same old promos. I think storylines have to change. Especially for championships, they're just, I want your belt. You're not good enough for my belt. Da da da. I want a story. I want to see some tension between these two people. I don't want the way they're come promos is like they know it's not real. I want to see some actual tension. I want to see some history. I want to see some beef, some blood. I want to see it. But it's just boring TKO. And I don't think it's on TKO. It's also on Triple H. Like if you watched Unreal, which I'm not the biggest supporter of, but I'm not too much against it. It ain't that deep at the end of the day, and it's cool to see how shows run. But the end of 41 Night 2, Cody, the first question he asked Triple H was that shit? He knew. He knew that was not good. That him and John could have gone on longer, could have scheduled a better match, and have a singer perform at the Grand Station Mall. But Triple H said, quote, was it as good as the women's match? No. Was it as good as the Triple Threat the night before? No. But it's what it needed to be. This is the main event of WrestleMania, the WWE Championship match. This is John Cena's last WrestleMania, and that's what's good enough. What it needed to be. What was it needed to be? Shit? Because it was. It was boring. It was nothing. No happen. All I can remember, it's been a few months. All I can remember is Travis Scott and Cena hitting over the belt. The pinfall happened, and I just stood there thinking, is that it? No Rock? No anything? Roman, maybe? Roddy Piper? He's dead, but someone? Help? Like, what? This is the main. Compared year before, we had John Cena interfere. We had The Rock interfere. We had The Undertaker interfering. We had Soul Skull coming out. We had hype crowds. We had this great finish, this great story. Nothing. And they had such a good story. John Cena's last chance at winning the main event of WrestleMania, getting back his championship, breaking the record. And they just didn't tell it. And I think Cena and Cody only had one promo together. And it's the main event of WrestleMania. The main event of WrestleMania should be in the top 10 best matches for WWE in the year. And that will go nowhere near it. Nowhere. So if Triple H has that mindset of what it needed to be for one of their biggest events, he shouldn't be in charge of WWE. And can I just say for the record, anyone saying that Vince should come back, check your morals and remember 2017 to 2019. There were some bad times. To finish off this long video and an off-topic video from what I usually cover, is this the worst period of WWE? No, it is nowhere near it yet. Nowhere. Like, come on now, guys. Come on. Mid-90s. the start of the PG era till about 20 parts of 2011, 2012 were okay. 2017, 2019, COVID, come on, all were so much worse. At least the pay-per-views are somewhat watchable. At least the match quality is still there. The matches in the periods I just mentioned were so bad. They're so frustrating. And we're getting there, but we're not there yet. But I find this is the most boring time. Because with 2017, 2019, you had some interesting times. You know, with the PG era, you had Punk. You know, with the 90s, you had some bits and pieces like Shawn Michaels. But like that was just outright bad. It was not boring. So I saw comments saying a fan has watched for 25 years said that this is the worst period. I'm like, recency bias does wonders on people. It really, really does. No, like for example, no one liked 2015 WWE, but there's fan edits of it. Like, just nostalgia. Idiots online is what I hate. Um, so this is it's the most boring time by far because it's the same storylines that happen, and we don't really get a good payoff to it. Um, like I've been watching wrestling for like 11 years, so I have seen real shit times, but I have not seen 90s times, and I hope I never get to that state. Um, so also one last message for wrestling community: please stop. You're making a mockery of us all. You're the literal stereotype of a wrestling fan, like the IWC, the just Twitter fans who aren't happy with everything. Um, it's just you're just a fool. You're humiliating yourself and others. So I hope you really enjoy that. It's a completely different topic, but it's something I'm really interested in. Thought I'd make a video on it. Just test the waters to see, and maybe I'll make other videos regarding wrestling. Because well, like I really enjoy it. I've followed it longer than football even, and Liverpool. So, um, yeah. Let's hope you start watching WWE. I will advise at the moment, just give it a few months. They'll be back, don't worry. And thanks very much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you on the next one.